Only some people want success, and these people do 5 things. First of all, they define it. Success is defined by the person seeking something. So if you don't define what you want, you can't ever accomplish it. You can't ever get there. In fact, if you look it up, success is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. So you can't actually be successful. You can't accomplish anything unless you define what that is for you. You go through life, you try being successful in a lot of things in a lot of different ways. But the main thing you have to do, even if it's a small thing, you have to define what success is for you. That could be graduating, that could be getting a job, but you have to plan for it and you have to seek for it. Some people go too far in their lives waiting for some magical event to happen where they can use their skills and their talents to be successful in it. When that doesn't happen, success doesn't just come, right? You can't wait to be acted upon, but you have to act and then wait for the results to come. Success and accomplishment doesn't come from doing big things. It actually just comes from telling your mind that you've accomplished something that you've wanted to. I'm not saying you should tell yourself, create a false sense of accomplishment by saying, well, hey, look at that, I spent 6 hours on my phone today instead of 9, so good job, and give yourself a pat on the back. No, that's not success unless that's what you decided you wanted to do. If you decided, hey, I'm spending way too much time on my phone, on my device, I need to spend less time, I'm going to only spend 6 hours, or let's say realistically, I'm going to cut my time in half, only spend 1 hour on my phone tomorrow, and that's what you accomplished, then you'll feel that sense of accomplishment. It's not just by doing something better than you did it before, but telling yourself, I want to be better, and I'm going to do these things, take these steps to be better tomorrow and even today. There could be a job opportunity that comes up, but if you're not seeking for that job, then you'll probably miss it. Success is defined by you. Figure out what you want. Successful people live it. When you see somebody post something on Instagram that's like a party or a new job opportunity, and you think, when I'm successful, I'll be like that. I'll be happy. I'll live like they do. You don't have to wait until you're successful to live like successful people. If you wanted to make $1 million in a year, that was your goal, what would that person do? What would that person with $1 million do every day? They'd wake up early probably. They'd go to bed on time. They would spend their time reading and learning more. They would seek opportunities, make connections with people, read money management books. Let's say you want to be a professional bodybuilder and your goal is to be 200 pounds. You got to train like those people would. You got to go for 2 hours. You got to get the right nutrition. So you got to live like the people that are successful. And you got to live like you've already accomplished what you want to accomplish, like you're already successful. Because sooner than you know it, you'll be living your life that you want, setting yourself up with good habits for when you have actually achieved what you want to achieve. And before you know it, you'll be living your life. You'll be living your dream life. So some people say fake it till you make it. And it's kind of more like live it until you live it some more and you get positive outcomes from it. You're faking it in a sense that you haven't reached that big goal yet. But if you live like you have, then you'll believe yourself even more. Others will believe you. You will be given what you need to accomplish the goal. You don't need an excuse to live the life that you want. You don't need the excuse that you've made it to live like the person that's made it. If that person would say no to going out at night, partying all night and all day, if that person who's made it would say no to bad ideas, you don't need an excuse to also say no. Live like you've already accomplished it and live like you've already gotten there. Sooner than you know it, you'll have made it and you'll have seen the importance of living that life. Building habits is a big part of success. So you can't wait until you're successful to build the habits. Number 3, they believe it. You hear this all the time. You got to believe it. Believe in yourself, whatever. But what does that even mean? After asking people if they want to be successful, you find that some people don't want the same thing as you do. Like I talked about in the first point, some people don't want the same success as you do. And so really, who are you competing against? If you want to be the best social media creator, you got to believe that you're able to do that. Because think about it. People, they're already successful, but they're not always going to be there. Or let's say you want to be the bodybuilding champion of the world. You might think, wow, this guy had way more resources than I did when he started. he was already eating big and going to the gym and whatever. But you got to believe that, and you got to realize that people don't stay there forever. And so if you have a dream, go for it. Believe that you're the next person to take that opportunity, to take that spot. But even if they don't, believe that you can overcome them. Even if it's never been done before, don't get hung up on that. There are always new accomplishments. There are always new records. There are always new ideas and people. And the world will never stop growing. You know, believe in yourself, believe in your ideas. Even if they're not common, that's even better, right? People don't like common ideas. They don't like normal things. So if it's something crazy, go for it. Believe that you're going to do it. You know, you might have to change your life to get there, but are you willing to do that? Number 4, they focus on themselves. This might sound a little bit like the last one because it is. The successful people that you see don't focus on what other people are doing rather they focus on what they've done and where they've come from. That doesn't mean you don't have to look at what other people have done and take notes from them, but look at what they've done, take notes, but make yourself the indicator of success. Where have you come from? Where are you right now? What are you going to do to be better tomorrow? You don't have to look at what other people are doing and think, wow, they did a lot, they're 20, already a millionaire, or they have already grown their business so fast, it's only been a year or whatever. You can take pointers from people, but don't take what they've done as an indicator of your success or failure. Just make yourself an indicator of success. Where have you come from? Where are you right now, and where are you headed? What are the goals that you have accomplished that you set last year? How have you grown mentally, physically, spiritually, socially in these last few weeks, right? You got to look at yourself and measure your own success by what you are doing right now and where you're headed, not by what other people have done, because people have done a lot of things. There's a lot of people in the world, but that's not what you got to be focused on. Successful people measure their success, and what I mean by that is, if you recognize the term key indicators, you'll know what I'm talking about. Key indicators are numbers that are rendered every certain amount of time to measure if something has increased or decreased. In the gym, one of the key indicators that I use is the amount of weight that I can bench press, for example. If the number goes up, then I know that I'm progressing, and if the number stays the same, then I know that I need to change something. Or if it goes down, I know that I really need to change something. And I use that to see if I'm progressing, if I'm growing. Key indicators are necessary because if we don't measure where we have come from and where we are going, then we won't be able to see our progress. It's one of those things that might seem tedious or unnecessary when really it's one of the most important parts. Because if you don't measure where you've come from, you won't be able to see where you're going and if you need to change anything. What I noticed is that, it's an extra step. You have to render certain key indicators every so often, and that might seem tedious or annoying when really it's necessary. Through key indicators, you receive feedback of where you need to improve and where you need to change. Nobody likes negative feedback, but if we don't get negative feedback, then we will never see what positive feedback is either. Nobody wants to finish something great and have somebody tell them that it sucked or that they could have done better, right? But if nobody does that, then we won't be able to see where we can improve. If you don't measure your failure, you can't measure your success. It may seem simpler, but that doesn't make it any less important. In fact, it's probably just important or more than step 1.